There's one at every Bible. The class clown, the spaz, the runt, the one that's better at having fun than it is at taking care of business. Nukeproof's Mega 290 is exactly that. In some parts of the Mammoth Bike Park, that's a good thing. In other parts, not so much. It all depends on what kind of rider you are.
So we all started riding in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And we all remember Nukeproof.
Yes. Oh man, I wanted those hubs so bad.
Yeah. And those bars with like the exposed carbon fiber, like you could feel it.
Yeah. Oh, what a dream.
I wanted their stem. So lightweight, so awesome.
Different brand now.
Yeah. They died, they came back.
Came back in Northern Ireland.
Oh yeah.
So, and it seems like the UK is where geometry borders are getting pushed. And this one, it's not the newest bike in the bunch. It's not the carbonist bike in the bunch, but 75.5-degree seat angle, 66 head angle, lowest bottom bracket in the test. And I'm like, this thing looks like it's going to be fun. It is aluminum, and that's kind of one of the things that stood out for me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what did you feel from that material?
Like, it seems like a lot of these big carbon bikes, not all of them, some of them have almost like a dead feel.
Right.
Like they're really just kind of unemotional between you and the ground. And this thing had a very lively, like I felt like I was interacting with the bike in a way.
It might be even too lively for me. I mean, I was feeling a lot of the trail, and this bike, it kind of felt like it had less travel than it actually did. It has 150, but it kind of feels like a 130 bike in a way.
It definitely has a springy, poppy feel to it. It's kind of funny because this is also the longest chainstay in the bunch. This is a 450 millimeter chainstay, super long, but it really feels like you can throw it around. It wants to be played with. You throw it into a berm, do something else that sounds like you're playing with a child.
Well, that's what I felt like on this thing. Like when I was popping out of stuff, there was like this springiness to this thing, maybe a childishness in a way. And it was at the cost of its balls out high speed capability. I'll definitely give you guys that.
You could kind of wind it up and pop it into stuff.
Down lower on the mountain, it felt like, I loved that down lower on the mountain, but up high, it was too chunky up there for me to feel super comfortable on the bike. Like I was going slower on this bike than I was on others because it's not as gushy and stuff, but like drifting it, super comfortable, that down low stuff for sure.
And there was something about at speed, you could kind of feel more of the feedback from the trail through it. Less of that sort of indifferent feel that we know from carbon bikes. This one, you could feel the chatter through it. More playful, but definitely more feedback on the trail.
I think it's the kind of bike that relies more on its geometry than its travel to get you down the hill.
Totally, yeah. It feels like a little bit less travel, but the geometry is kind of rescuing you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a class clown, the Nukeproof isn't going to win everyone over. But it spoke to those of us who want a responsive bike, even if that bike complains a bit when you ask it to play rough. It complained a bit on the climbs too, but who doesn't?
I felt like it makes it up the hills, but it doesn't really make climbing fun.
Or easier.
Or easier.
Yeah.
It gets there.
I had really high expectations because it was a 150 mil bike. I mean, it's weird to call that like moderate, but that's kind of moderate in this category of bike. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be sitting on top of this travel. It's going to be fine. I definitely needed some sort of a lockout platform level to get up the hill comfortably.
Yeah.
We had a pretty steep climb in this test, and
yeah, we did.
We kind of couldn't find a bike that just, you didn't need something to help you going up that steep climb. So maybe all these bikes are going to need a little bit of a platform, but it definitely felt necessary.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to point out too was, like, this is an aluminum bike, but it's not the heaviest bike that we have here.
Yeah, true.
No,
which is
definitely
pretty cool.
not. Yeah,
So.
Well done. And maybe we can attribute some of that to the spec on the bike.
It does have skinny little tires.
Tiny
double
little tires. Yeah, so they're tough, but these are 2.3-inch tires. Somehow, maybe compared to all the other big tires, they look even tinier. But smaller tires compared to, we're seeing 2.5s, we even have 2.6s in this test.
I think these tires suited the nature of this bike. Like, it drifts really nice. It's kind of a slasher. And I didn't want something that was going to squirm around under me. So I thought it really complemented what spoke to me about this bike.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, where I found this bike to be the most fun, which is like drifty stuff, kind of jumpy stuff, poppy stuff, those tires felt great in that. And where the bike didn't feel the best, which was that really chunky stuff up top, I kind of wanted a beefier tire there. Like, I felt like I could get more forgiveness out of it.
And this also had a fair amount of drop to the dropper, 170 millimeter.
Which we don't see enough
we
of.
definitely like when we see, and we don't see it often enough. So nice attention to detail there.
And all this comes in this round $3,500 price point.
Shipped to you, yeah.
Yeah,
Somewhere
you're
around
paying
there.
80 bucks to ship it to you for kind of international customs clearance. And once you pay for all that, you're looking at just over $3,500 here.
That, I think, is kind of a cool part of this bike, is that you're not going to see a lot of these on the trail. I mean, I don't like to let that be a factor when I'm buying anything in my day-to-day life. But it is kind of cool to be the guy with the eye-catching, like, UK brand Nukeproof that old guys like us are going to be like,
I remember
that brand.
Nukeproof.
Yeah.
They were cool.
And they still are.
Yeah, for sure.
The Mega 290 makes you pick sides. Some find its lively, even slightly flexy feel to be an asset. It sets it further apart than it already is. But others want something more traditional, more in line with its classmates. That may be the more responsible choice, but class clowns sometimes do remarkable things. Be sure to go to bikemag.com for the full review and the rest of the Bible videos.